Dell McGee has been with Kirby Smart from the start at Georgia since 2016, an old Auburn guy. We've had a lot of crossover between those two schools through the years. Uh, Dell has turned out to be one of the most consequential and important people in Kirby's program in his time in Athens. And there have been some really important people, talk about Mel Tucker, Sam Pittman, Dan Lanning, um, certainly Todd Monken, the coordinators that have and offensive line coach that have left. But Dell has done a superb job of developing and accumulating talent. And that is college football. The development of talent that you accumulate, whether it's now through the transfer portal or just straight up through recruiting like it's been in the past. These are those two things are the reason why he's been such a good coach. When you think about the guys he's had too, he's had a lot to work with, no question. I mean, Nick, Sony, um, Elijah, DeAndre Swift, now Kendall, and Kenny Robinson's on the way. You just you just had possibly the second best, if not third best tandem in school history with Zamir and James. These are some bona fide badass running backs, and we've not seen a running back of consequence that I can recall transfer out of the program, which means that Dell is appropriately managing expectations and personalities. The personalities of DeAndre Swift and Elijah even, and James, Zamir, and Nick are very different. Those guys are not. They do not have the same type of personality. We've also seen Georgia running backs who have not been the spotlight guy make big plays in special teams. Think about what Zamir did blocking that punt against Arkansas. Think, did he do that twice? He definitely did it in Fayetteville. He was on the play when Georgia blocked the punt against Arkansas in Athens to the 12 o'clock ESPN game after game day. Um, these players, Sony was on special teams in 2014, but not when Dell was around. So you're seeing that these guys are willing to work. And, special teams is not a lot of fun, but that's where backup running backs go. And in some cases, that's where starting running backs go. I mean, Zamir White was on the punt block team when they ended that game against Arkansas this past fall. That was one of the games that most people really remember and think fondly about in the 2021 season. They think about it. I think it gets passed in many ways. That was a top 10 game. That was a game of top 10 teams, Arkansas and Georgia that day. There were a lot of people petrified that Georgia would lose that game. As it turns out, that was not a great matchup for Arkansas. I mean, that, power on power, quarterback who has a lot of physical tools, but who still has development to do on the in quarterback game, I guess. Um, that game was a huge game for Georgia. They didn't know how they were going to deal with Jefferson, the quarterback at Arkansas. But that's one game that we talk about in DAWGSTRUCTION. Make sure that you're picking up the 22 preview that you get for free if you order DAWGSTRUCTION. If you get DAWGSTRUCTION today, you will get this with the book. It will come in the same package. If you only want the magazine, you can pick it up down below. You can see it. If you are in Athens and you're desperate to get the magazine in your hands today, Red Zone, Clayton Street, downtown. It also has tons of Georgia gear. It's an easy place to go shop. You don't have to deal with the bookstore's insanity as it relates to parking. And you can get in and get out. And that's a very knowledgeable staff. They are eager to help. But I would check out the magazine down below, and we will get that off to you, this week, today, tomorrow. So get that today. If you order DAWGSTRUCTION, you get the magazine for free. Dell, though, has never been a head coach, and Dell McGee will be a head coach. The question is when, where, um, but he is someone that Kirby has said multiple times that he relies on, in terms of talking to him and helping lead the program. I mean, you don't have to be uh, a coordinator to be the leader of a program. I mean, Dabo Swinney is a great example of what you can do with someone. And I would not, I'm not comparing Dell to Dabo. But Dabo Swinney does not have a reputation in college football world of being a great football mind. He is an accumulator of offensive and defensive coordinator talent. Um, Dell McGee is probably will probably be a very good program leader someday, and it might be next year. But what he's done for Georgia is balance out the running back spot. He has given Kirby advice that has certainly been very good advice. I have never heard anything real negative about Dell. I think he's a very likable person, generally speaking, and I'm sure that that's one reason why Kirby wanted Dell on his staff was because of getting to know him while he was at Carver in Columbus. Uh, recruiting Isaiah, recruiting all sorts of guys, and getting to know Dell. I mean, I'm pretty certain they won the state championship down there, the Tigers, and that was the best program in Columbus at the time, and he's gotten looks at some positions at some places, and he's made it known that he's interested in being the head coach and leading a program, and I think he will. But while he's at Georgia, he continues to accumulate talent. He continues to develop the talent. He's an excellent coach at Georgia. Georgia is fortunate to have him. There's been scuttlebutt that he would go to Auburn. That's not happened. And I think as long as Brian Harson's there, it might not happen. Um, that's been a tough, that has been a not ideal spot at times for folks. But with Brian Harson, I mean specifically. But Dell has really been invaluable, and I think that Kirby has benefited from his expertise and insight. Check out the magazine. Get DAWGSTRUCTION today. You get the magazine for free.